Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel as they prepare for a massive Premier League showdown against Manchester United at the Emirates Stadium. With the atmosphere already building in North London, Mikel Arteta's men know this is one of those nights where focus, intensity and togetherness can make all the difference. At the Sobha Realty Training Centre, the mood has been sharp and competitive. Sessions have been high-tempo, with a strong emphasis on pressing drills, quick transitions and defensive shape. Arteta has been drilling his players on movement between the lines and quick ball circulation, knowing Manchester United will look to punish any lapse in concentration. The coaching staff have also spent time on set pieces, an area Arsenal have continued to grow in this season. There was a noticeable edge in training, with players pushing each other and standards kept extremely high. The Emirates crowd will expect energy from the first whistle, and Arteta is clearly demanding the same intensity on the training ground. Senior players have been vocal, while the younger stars continue to show confidence and hunger as they prepare for another big test under the lights. Arteta's latest team news update. Speaking ahead of the match, Mikel Arteta provided an update on his squad, confirming that Arsenal will assess a few players late after recent training sessions. The manager explained that the medical team is monitoring fitness levels closely, especially with the busy schedule, but he remains confident about the overall condition of the squad. Arteta also highlighted the importance of squad depth, stressing that everyone needs to be ready when called upon. He praised the attitude of the players returning to training and hinted that some could be pushing for minutes after positive sessions on the grass. While a final decision will be made closer to kick-off, the manager sounded optimistic about having a strong group available. As Arsenal look to make a statement at the Emirates against a historic rival, the message from Arteta is clear. Preparation is everything. The training groundwork is done, the focus is sharp, and now all eyes turn to match day, where the Gunners will aim to deliver another big performance in front of their home fans. Meanwhile, heavyweight battle. And at London Colney, Mikel Arteta's squad have been working with focus, intensity and belief as they prepare for one of their toughest tests of the season. Arsenal training update. Ahead of Inter Milan. Arsenal stepped up their preparations this week with high-tempo training sessions designed specifically for Champions League football. The emphasis has been on sharp passing, positional discipline and pressing as a unit, knowing that Inter Milan thrive when given time and space. The sessions have been intense but controlled, with Arteta ensuring the squad maintains energy levels ahead of this crucial European night. Defensive drills have played a major role as Arsenal worked on staying compact and organised while dealing with quick transitions. At the same time, attacking patterns were rehearsed repeatedly, focusing on movement between the lines and creating chances against a well-structured inter-defence. Tactical work and Champions League mindset. With Inter Milan's experience in Europe well known, Arsenal's coaching staff have focused on game management and decision-making under pressure. Training has included scenario-based exercises, preparing the players for different phases of the match, whether chasing a goal or protecting a lead. Set pieces have also been a key part of preparations, both offensively and defensively, as Arteta looks to maximise every opportunity in what could be a very tight contest. The mood around the training ground has been calm but determined, reflecting a squad ready for the challenge. Mikel Arteta's latest team. News speaking ahead of the Champions League fixture, Mikel Arteta provided an update on his squad, confirming that player fitness is being carefully managed following a demanding run of matches. The Arsenal boss explained that recovery has been a priority in recent sessions, while maintaining the intensity needed for top-level European football. Arteta revealed that a few players are being assessed day by day, but he remained confident that a strong and competitive group will be available for the match against Inter Milan. He also praised the attitude of the players in training, highlighting their hunger and focus, ahead of this important Champions League test. Squad depth and selection decisions. With the Champions League stage demanding both quality and experience, Arteta has important decisions to make. Competition for places has been fierce in training, and the manager may look to balance freshness with tactical stability. The squad's depth gives Arsenal flexibility, and every player knows the importance of delivering on the biggest stage. Final thoughts. As Arsenal count down to kick-off, the message from the training ground is clear. This is a moment to step up. Against Inter Milan, Arsenal will need intensity, discipline and belief to succeed in the UEFA Champions League. All eyes now turn to match day as the Gunners aim to make a powerful statement in Europe. Meanwhile, Arsenal transfer news. After a slow start, the January transfer window has suddenly burst into life, and Arsenal are once again at the centre of the headlines. From a search for a new Pedri to defensive talks and growing competition from rivals, let's break it all down, with prices included. Let's start with the eye-catching headline. Arsenal are reportedly looking for a new Pedri. This doesn't mean the Barcelona star himself, but a young, elite-level midfielder with similar technical quality, intelligence, and ability to control games. Players in this profile do not come cheap. Clubs across Europe value this type of talent highly, and Arsenal would likely be looking at a price range between £60 million and £90 million, depending on age, contract length, and experience. Mikel Arteta wants creativity and control in midfield, especially for the long term, but any deal of this magnitude may be more realistic in the summer window rather than January. Next, Arsenal have been linked with Jeremy Jacquet, a young and highly rated centre-back. The defender is seen as a future-focused signing, someone who can develop under Arteta while adding depth to the squad. Arsenal are believed to be in early talks, but Chelsea are also monitoring the situation. In terms of price, Jacquet is valued at around £8 million to £12 million, making him a relatively affordable option compared to elite Premier League defenders. This is the type of smart, low-risk investment Arsenal have targeted in recent windows. Meanwhile, what's up, Gooners? Welcome back. Sit tight as we break down the latest Arsenal transfer buzz, Marc Guéhi's potential move, what's happening with Arda Güler, and the future of Oleksandr Zinchenko, prices included. Let's dive right in. Marc Guéhi, defensive target with a twist. First up, Marc Guéhi, the Crystal Palace captain and England centre-back, who has been linked with a move to Arsenal this window. There's been serious interest from across Europe. Manchester City, Liverpool and even Bayern Munich have all been sniffing around for the 25-year-old. Arsenal have been monitoring his situation too, given their need for defensive reinforcement. But here's the price twist. Crystal Palace and potential suitors had been valuing him as high as around £35 to £40 million earlier in the window. However, with his contract expiring this summer, that asking price has dropped significantly. And Manchester City have reportedly agreed a £20 million deal, plus small add-ons, for him. So, for Arsenal fans wondering, while the Gunners were linked and interested, Guéhi's most likely destination now appears to be Manchester City at around £20 million. A bargain in market terms, but likely out of reach for a January swoop, given City's urgency to bolster a depleted backline. Switching gears to Arda Güler, the Real Madrid attacking midfielder who's been on Arsenal's radar for some time. Güler is widely regarded as one of the brightest young creative talents in Europe, capable of unlocking defences with his vision, dribbling and goal threat. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. Real Madrid are not interested in selling him, and reports have placed his valuation at around €150 million, £130 million plus, if he were ever to leave the Bernabeu. That price tag reflects both his potential and Madrid's commitment to keeping him as part of their long-term project. While Arsenal admire Güler and could consider him for the future, a move this January seems unlikely, unless Real Madrid shock the market or a rare opportunity opens up. Finally, let's talk about Alexander Zinchenko, who's been a key player under Mikel Arteta since his arrival. However, his role has fluctuated, and he spent the current season on loan at Nottingham Forest. Recent reports suggest his loan has not gone smoothly, with limited playing time and complications around ending it early. On the pricing side, his market value has dipped slightly. Recent updates show his estimated value around €15 million, approximately £13 million, down from earlier in his arsenal. Zinchenko's contract is set to expire this summer, and Arsenal are expected to let him leave rather than integrate him back into the squad long term. Offers could range around that valuation level, but it will depend on interest and whether clubs see value in his technical profile. Meanwhile, Arsenal are reportedly interested in a summer move for Newcastle United and England winger Anthony Gordon, as Mikel Arteta looks to add more pace, intensity and goal threat to his attack. Gordon, currently starring for Newcastle, has developed into one of the Premier League's most dangerous wide players. Known for his direct running, high pressing and work rate, the 25-year-old fits perfectly into Arteta's fast, aggressive system. Arsenal see Gordon as a player who can compete on both wings, offering strong competition for Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli, while also giving the squad more depth for a long title and Champions League campaign. However, Newcastle are under no pressure to sell. With Gordon under contract and playing a key role, the Magpies are expected to demand a big fee, potentially in the region of £60 to £70 million, especially if Arsenal make a serious approach in the summer window. If you enjoyed this update, don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on notifications for daily Arsenal transfer news. Let us know in the comments, which of these signings would you make first? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the meanwhile. The Premier League leaders, Arsenal, are getting ready for a big test this weekend. They're making the trip to the City Ground to face Nottingham Forest this Saturday, January 17th. And the training ground talk has been all about fitness and focus. Mikel Arteta's men are sitting 6 points clear at the top and are on an impressive 10-game unbeaten run across all competitions. The goal in training this week? Recovery, rotation, and making sure the squad maintains that winning mentality after tough wins against Portsmouth in the FA Cup and Chelsea in the EFL Cup semi-final first leg. The players were back at the Sober Realty Training Centre immediately, barely 48 hours after the Chelsea game, putting in the work to manage their physical demands ahead of another demanding fixture. Arteta's latest team news update now, for the part you've all been waiting for, the injury latest, straight from the boss, Mikel Arteta. He addressed the media ahead of the match, providing updates on several key players. The big question marks over two major players seem to have cleared up: William Saliba and Leandro Trossard. Great news here. Both players, who were doubts earlier in the week and missed the FA Cup tie, are expected to be available for selection against Forest. Saliba returned to full training this week, and Arteta confirmed a decision will be made on his involvement, but he is in contention. Trossard, despite a recent knock with Belgium, is also fit to feature. Piero Hincapié, Riccardo Calafiori, Christian Mosquera and Max Daumann. Unfortunately, these four remain sidelined. Arteta confirmed earlier in the week that Hincapié, groin, and Calafiori, muscle injury, are not available yet, and no clear timeline has been given for their returns, though Calafiori is expected back in the coming weeks. Mosquera and young Max Daumann are both recovering from ankle ligament injuries with similar timeframes and are still a few weeks away from returning to training. So while there are a few key defensive absences, the potential return of Saliba is a massive boost as Arsenal look to extend their lead at the top of the Premier League table. The team knows it will be a tough game at the City Ground against a Forest side fighting relegation, so focus will be key.